best answer to give people when they ask, how do you guys do it all, is that it is so flexible that the more in sync you and I are, the better everything runs. There's so much hinges on whether we're getting along and whether we're helping each other. I am so thankful that we do it together. Welcome to the podcast with Kilee Nichols. I'm Kilee, founder and CEO of the life-changing accessories brand Nickel & Suede and the successful style blog One Little Mama. I made the unlikely transition from stay-at-home mom to founder and entrepreneur. It takes a lot of courage to make a change like that, but I love the growth and the confidence that's come from stepping out of my comfort zone. This is the podcast for people who want to be inspired to be brave, to take a chance, and to change their life. I'll be sharing stories and actionable takeaways about working with your spouse, being a working mom, starting and growing a business, confidence, motivation, and more. So get ready to get inspired and to get started with Kilee Nichols. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. Kilee here. You are with Kilee Nichols and Soren Nichols as well. My husband Soren is joining me, and we are excited to talk to you today. We're going to be talking about another topic that we get asked about a lot. But first, happy Halloween, Soren.
Happy Halloween to you too. Nice costume.
Thanks. Clearly, we are super pumped about the holiday because we are not dressed up at all.
You're dressed up as a character from a Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, I've got a fuzzy sweater on, and Soren's got like a green shirt on. Yeah, I think I've been calling you an ogre all morning because your attitude just kind of matches. So it's been a morning, but we sent the kids off to school. They were excited for their class parties, and we're gonna figure out what our plans are for the evening because in Kansas City it snowed last night, and I'm just not really a fan of trick-or-treating in the snow. Soren's not a fan of trick-or-treating in general. So we're going to probably play rock, paper, scissors as to who has to go out.
I'll go out. I also don't want to go to the Halloween party where I have to talk to people.
Yeah.
In costumes where they say, why didn't you dress up? Because I feel like an ogre.
Yeah, back to that Shrek costume. We'll just, maybe you need a mask or something. I don't know. Have you always been anti-Halloween?
No.
Yeah. I think the parenthood and like owning a business together maybe has changed your viewpoint on, I don't know, just.
I started when we used to go to parades, and I realized that everyone just throws candy at my kids. And then my kids run out into the street to go and pick up the candy. I said, that's it. We're not going to parades anymore. And so Halloween to me has a little bit of a similar flavor. Yeah. Soren's
kind of like the candy Nazi at our house. There's certain candies that are like 1,000% banned. What are those candies?
Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah.
Anything on a stick.
Yeah, like a sucker.
Not allowed.
Candy canes.
Totally not allowed.
Yeah, we have to kind of like.
So we're talking about parenting today, right?
Yeah, we are talking about parenting. So it's a perfect segue. I like candy canes, so we have some differences in our parenting. But today we are talking about parenting and owning a business together. We get a lot of questions because we have 5 kids and we run a business together. And I've been meeting a lot of new people recently with going to a couple different conferences and then being on lots of different new podcasts. And it's been great. But every time I introduce myself and I say, I run this business, and then I say I also have kids, and they ask how many, everyone's jaw just kind of drops. Like, you have how many kids? And how old are they? And like the math just does, like, that does not equate to making sense. Like,
to you being here, it doesn't equate.
Right.
To you looking the way you look doesn't make sense. To you having accomplished everything you've accomplished, it doesn't add up. Like,
how could you even be anywhere alone and have 5 kids? Or how could you have a business with 5 kids? And I totally agree. It does not make for a very sensible, easy, orderly life. So anyways, we thought this would be a great topic to talk about together, maybe give some stories and just kind of give a little bit of behind the scenes. What does it look like for us to have a business and 5 kids? And how do we feel about that? How do we feel it goes well? How does it not go well? It's definitely a journey. So,
because there's people who we know who have a lot of kids.
Yeah, more than us even.
And they do great, or they seem to be doing great at it. And then there's other people who have businesses that seem to have it all together. But people who have all the kids and the business and where both parents work in the business, that's a little bit more unusual.
Yeah, we don't have very many people that we can kind of relate to or feel like we have peers in that arena. So sometimes that is kind of, we definitely feel unique.
Yeah. So the short of it is that we feel messier in each of those spaces maybe than people think we appear to be.
Yeah. And we put our best foot forward all the time, and try to, be relatable and, hopefully inspiring and do our best in those places. But it is definitely messy, and it's definitely been like a learning process. And when I was on a podcast last week, and I was telling you about this earlier, that someone said, how do you do it all? And I think the biggest answer, or the best answer I can give, is that it's all been gradual. It's all been, and even with kids, right? Like we have 5 kids, and I say, well, it's not like they all showed up at once. Like we had one first, and thank goodness they didn't all show up at once. Like even twins. I mean, those women who have twins or triplets are just heroes, right? But one kid came first, and we kind of acclimated to that, and then we decided to have another one, and then we acclimated to that, and so it's all kind of an acclimation, I feel like, of that journey in life. And now it's been 10 years that we've had kids, and I feel like I've got an okay handle a lot of days, and other times I'm like, yeah, this 5th was really a tipping point. I feel like rush is a lot. And I am crazy to entertain the idea that maybe someday we could have had 6.
Totally crazy. Not gonna happen.
But yeah, I think you just acclimate as time goes on. You learn skills that kind of help you adjust to having more on your plate. And then obviously kids get bigger and they get more skills. And so as far as the kids go, we have 5 kids. The oldest is Easton. He's 10. Then Kessler just turned 9. Knox just turned 6 in June. Baker just turned 4 3 days ago. And Rush is almost 2. So the oldest 3, I'd say one of the perks of having a business and having all of them is they are super independent kids. Like, I know you don't like what they feed themselves, but they do feed themselves, and that is awesome to me.
I should say I'm proud of them that we don't drive them to school. We don't drop them off at the front door. We make them walk down the street themselves
to
and
the bus
stand
stop
in the cold at the bus stop.
Yeah.
They get themselves to the bus stop. And
they know what time they need to leave. They get themselves dressed every morning. They get themselves up. Like,
if it's raining, if it's snowing, I don't accommodate. I say, here's a rain jacket, here's an umbrella. You're still going. I'm not going to drive you down there.
They get themselves showered. They get themselves their cereal. We have, just in the last couple of months, we've hired a nanny, I guess you would say, and she comes over at 7:30 every morning and helps facilitate people getting ready in the morning, but she mostly helps the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old. The 3 oldest really, I think, don't need anybody to make sure they get to the bus stop, and it's just awesome. Like, I'm so proud of them. And I have other friends who have kids that are the same age that can't even make their own sandwiches. My kids, even if they leave a mess in the kitchen, like, I think the 4-year-old can make his own peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's awesome. So, and
they definitely leave a mess in the kitchen.
But it's not because I don't want to do it for them. I just think, I think there's confidence that comes from them knowing that they can do things for themselves. And there's things they can't do for themselves because we haven't been able to take the time to teach them. Like you were saying earlier, like you're frustrated that some of them can't tie their shoes. Like, I still buy some of them Velcro shoes because I don't know how to teach kids to tie their shoes either. There's places where we've been deficient in teaching kids things because we're so busy, but other things they've figured out on their own. And I love that. I think that is so empowering for them. So that busy aspect, that there's so many kids, like they are going to have to figure things out on their own. And I think that's important. So side effect of a busy life, big family, cool things. So that's having lots of kids. And I think if you have a lot of kids, if you have a big family, that just happens. But we also happen to own a business and have a lot of things that we have to do together. That's not been easy. We thought it would be easy at the beginning, easier because we thought we'd be working from home all the time. So how has that changed?
We still work from home all the time.
No, we don't.
Meaning we were working this morning. As soon as we got out of bed,
That's
we were
true.
having meetings.
Yeah, you and I, as we're
Right.
getting ready. That was our whole conversation this morning as we're getting ready is, well, what do we do about this employee? And what do we do about this employee? And yeah, so it doesn't shut off at home.
No. So if we tried
It's
to
really hard.
plan all of the work that we are supposed to be working on,
Yeah.
we wouldn't plan a meeting for 7 o'clock in the morning while we're getting ready. We would get ready, we would interact, we would whatever, and then we would have that conversation at work later.
Yeah.
And there's just more to do than that at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So we struggle keeping work at work, not having it interrupt our home life, time with each other, time with our kids. So it totally, like, that's part of why you're like started this podcast grouchy, is because we had a rough morning having an argument about what to do, how things are going at work. We didn't really even get to interact with our kids. And then we just like came to work and it felt like, this day just started crappy. And I don't even know if it's going to get any better kind of a deal, right? It's rough.
Yes.
And then I tell people it's hard because there's no time for like one of us to be sick or one of us to be gone. Like there's always people who need us at home and at work. So if I need to be somewhere, you need to be home or you need to be at work. There's just too many places where we're both needed all the time. So I just went to a conference to go learn and be out and about as the CEO of Nickel and Suede. And that was amazing. But because I was gone, had to spend quite a bit more time at home helping the kids. And so then our employees had to fend for themselves more. Mm-hmm. Or if you had been at work, our kids would have had to fend for themselves more with babysitters. So it does feel like there's just always somebody having to be self-sufficient. There's just never enough of us to go around.
Right. It's the multiplication. There's something called the multiplier effect, where if you do something well, that we want that to be multiplied in our employees and their ability. But the same thing happens if you're absent, that some of what you do or I do ends up leaving a bigger than normal gap.
Yeah.
Because we both have such a big role to fill in both spaces, both at home and at work.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, so we're trying to make a list before we started today. Like, what are some of the things that we think we've done well as just to try to set ourselves up for success as parents of all these boys? We know we have to work a lot. So some of the like concrete things that we've done at home or like rules that we've set. One of them that you really were the kind of person who started, like, we don't do video games at our house. The most that we have really is the iPads the kids bring home from school. They have some school games on there. And then if they manage to get on our computers and do some little cool math games, I guess, right? Which is a fake website. The
day I found out that math games had nothing to do with math, I laughed.
But they're just very like so there's some anyways, we don't have any video game systems and stuff. And that was really a great choice for our family because we are so busy that it would have been so easy for us to just use that as a babysitter all the time. So I'm so glad that we've chosen to keep that out of our house. So they have, instead we have a Lego room. Our kids have so many Legos, but that's a great way for them to be spending their time when we aren't around as much or we're needing to be working at home.
And it totally helps keep their room clean and the house clean.
There's no stepping on Legos. They're all in the Lego room. We were really fortunate enough to be able to move into a house that had plenty of space for all of our kids a couple of years ago. And so we have an exercise room that we try to model working out in.
We built an exercise room because we have 5 boys that we're going to provide the opportunity for them to make sure that they are using it.
Yeah.
And we would prefer that to be at home with friends here in the basement, talking about girls where we can hear them. So.
You're going to spy on them.
Yep.
We also have, we're really fortunate. We weren't sure how we felt about it, but we do have a pool in our backyard. And that's been such a huge blessing for me because as a working parent, would it be impossible for me to take my kids to the pool in the summer? We have just been I would just count that as a huge blessing from God that we have a pool, we have a climbing wall, we have just kind of a lot of activities in our home for them to do, and we try to foster those activities for them to do together. I'm so glad that they have siblings to play with because we don't have time to really have tons of friends over. So we try to keep the electronics low, and we try to keep the curiosity. We do tons of art projects. So that's some just the ways that our family operates in our home.
So the default setting in our house, I would say, is art projects. They self-serve on the art projects and
that's all I know how to give them to do. Here's
crayons,
some art supplies.
And that is because that came from you.
Yeah.
They don't go out and play sports together. They don't go out and play catch together.
They're little still.
They self-serve on crayons and markers.
Yeah.
And if you're interacting with that, it's, Mom, will you print me another picture to color?
Yeah,
right?
and I draw them things. Other things that we've tried to really do is involve them in the business. So when we had our basement in their business, our business in our basement, they were always down there underfoot. That was awesome. Kessler, our 9-year-old, has been making and selling bracelets in our retail store for several years. And so we've been trying to teach him about how to make and sell things and earn money, and then put away money for savings, put away money for tithing. And then lately, as I've been working more and more, I've been trying to think, how can I bring my kids along? How can I have them see what I'm doing more and have them understand the importance of what we're doing? And so last week, I took Kessler with me when I went to speak on a panel. So he was kind of bored, but I think he must have absorbed something. And we spent time as I drove. I'm speaking at another engagement in a couple of weeks where I have to drive down and spend the night in order to make an early speaking engagement. So I'm hoping to take Easton with me, and just, I think I got that from, I feel like it was Rachel Hollis actually, where she just, at least once a year tries to take one of her kids with her on a business trip. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to be working, they should see that. And you do that too, right? They see you driving around and they see you supporting me, and they see both of us just doing whatever it takes. So
when I took the Boy Scouts on a hike,
yeah,
I went out 2 days early and took the 2 older boys with me.
Yeah.
So same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what are a couple other things that we do that our listeners could maybe learn from or appreciate hearing about the way our family operates?
Yeah, so I think other things that we really try to focus on and have our kids do are exploring the creek. We have a creek close to us, and we have galoshes in every size. So we're always trying to shove them outside and say, go explore. Take one of your little brothers. Don't leave each other. Get out of here. And we've tried to teach the kids, take care, your job is to take care of your younger brothers. And so they take care of each other when they go out, and they have someone has a watch on always. And so we're come back at this time, but giving some of them that autonomy to go out and be in nature, explore. We also give them we kind of have this loop in our neighborhood, and we're go run a lap. And we give Easton, you run 2 laps. Kessler, you run 1. Knox, you run half a 1. And depending on their age, to try to force that exercise.
Right. They come home from school, they get off the school bus, they want to take their backpacks down, set them down, and open up their iPads or turn on the TV. And I say, go run 2 laps.
Yeah.
Come back, and then you're thirsty, and then you're tired, and then you can relax.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you just come back from school and say I need to relax.
Yeah. And then even though I've tried to hire help for me to help with the house, I've tried to be conscious about making sure that they still learn how to do jobs. And so on Saturdays, I try to write out lists for them that they have to complete for their rooms and things. And the house cleaners don't clean their rooms. And like, I just try to make sure that they are still learning things as much as I can, giving them lists of jobs to do. We go to church together every Sunday. We've got those kind of like those activities that we try to have, reading scriptures together as a family every night, like making sure that there's other priorities in our life besides just work and that those things shine through. So I definitely want our kids to learn that work's important and that it's hard and that we're doing it for our family and for them. So they pray every night in our prayers, like, please help mom and dad to get more customers, and please help things to go well for them with their employees, because they overhear our conversations. But
we call them our workers.
Right. But they also know that that's like not the most important thing to us. And so I signed up all 4 of our kids for soccer this last season for the first time ever. It was so hard, but I also knew I'm a mom of 5 boys. I can't just say, well, I work, so I'm not going to sign them up for activities. And so it makes life hard. But
what was it? Every Wednesday it was, 2 kids have soccer practice at the same time.
At 2 different places across town. And everybody has that. But I try not to excuse myself just because we have a lot of kids and work. I try to just say, you know what, this is the life we live, and I want all of my kids to have opportunities, and I want them to know that I value this and this and this, and so they're going to see what I value. So,
and someday I've got 5 boys. Best version of me would be I can coach their soccer teams again.
Yeah, but not right now.
Not right now.
Right now I say, no, we cannot volunteer. No, we cannot help, because we will do more damage than good.
No, we cannot sign up to come bring
we will say thank
whatever
you
to class.
No, we will always bring the snack and say thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, we try to do all of those things. We're so not perfect, but I think trying to have all those values come through to the kids, even though work takes over almost all the time. Because that's the stage of life that this business is in, and the stage of life that 5 kids is in. The reality is the kids in the business take most of our time. But yeah, I think really the best answer to give people when they ask, how do you guys do it all, is that it is so flexible, and I'm so thankful that we do it together. And I feel like I've realized that the more in sync you and I are, the better everything runs. And I remember there was a couple in college. I don't remember their names. You would remember. They lived above us in our first apartments. And I just remember her saying that, like, if things were going well in their marriage, that everything else went well. But if things were going badly in their marriage, everything else went badly. And it just seems like the more in sync and the better that we're getting along, everything goes better with the kids and with the house and with work. Like, it's just, there's so much hinges on whether we're getting along and whether we're helping each other. And I was...
So is that your best piece of advice on this?
Yeah, that
get along with your spouse.
You really have to get along with your spouse if you're going to do 5 kids in a business. That's the only way. And every time that things seem like they're going wrong, it's because you and I are on the wrong page. But I've also realized that the only thing that has also held me back really has been myself, and it's never been you. And people have always, maybe people don't know that about us working, but lately you have you've always pushed me outside of my comfort zone. And so I'm the one spreading this message of, ooh, step outside your comfort zone and these things. But you've never said to me, you should work because we need to make more money. Like, it's not fair that I'm the only one working. And you've never said, you should stay home, Kilee. That's what moms do. You've always said, you should go and be at this place. These women need to hear from you. You should go and be at this place because she needs your help. You should go because you need to support that cause. you've always been the one pushing me out the door to go and be my best self, to step outside my comfort zone, to go help, to go learn, to go grow. And I'm always the one that's like, no, but don't you think the kids need me? Don't you think I need to be there at bedtime? Don't you think, like, aren't you guys going to miss me? Isn't this going to be hard? And you're always like, I got this. Get out of here. And then I leave and someone breaks their leg and the fireplace is broken, but you're still like, I got this and you need to go. And so that's really the reason we've been able to do everything with 5 kids in a business, is because you see the bigger picture and the like bigger purpose awesomeness that I can do and we can do together. And I'm always the one like, but don't people want me to be a mom, and don't my kids need me? And I don't know, I just think like you're such a supporter, and you never have like held me into a box. Like you're always just like, Kilee, get out of your box and knock it off. And that's like the only way we do something that's so bizarre to everybody else. 5 kids and a business that's going to go like take over the world. Like, who would try to do that? Well, we would, because you can't possibly see that there's a box around that. There isn't one, as long as we're willing to be like, just go, just do it. Like, that's the right thing to go do today. So I got this, you go do that. And I don't know, there's just not very many husbands that would do that. And I'm constantly having to try to be the wife that's like, okay, fine, I'll go do that speaking engagement. That's so scary, but fine, I'll step out of my box.
I should mention, I don't watch sports ever.
No, you don't.
I'm just trying to relate to your comment about not many husbands. Well, okay, maybe you're right. Not many husbands don't have the absence of that major thing. Like, our kids don't ever even watch sports either.
Well, you just...
And I love sports, but
there's
I never watch them.
there's nothing that you... Like, you and I get frustrated with you sometimes because I'm like, I want us to be traditional in some ways, or I want us to be this and that. But there's so many ways to be excellent outside of traditional. And we keep proving that. And so when I'm like, can you just let him eat a dang candy cane? Like, that's what Christmas is about. Christmas is about candy canes. And Halloween is about trick-or-treating. And I get frustrated that you grew up with such an untraditional life, but that's what allows you to be so outside the box thinking and to push me outside of boxes all the time. And so I think if anybody wants to do something that's so outside the box, they want to have a big family and chase their dreams, if they want to be original in their field, like, they have to be willing to throw away all boxes, and their spouse needs to, be on the same page, because it takes a lot, I think, for you to come home at 4:00 and say, get out of here, go do that thing, I've got it. It takes a lot for you to say, go away for 4 days, and then be texting me and say, I'm headed to the ER, I think someone broke their leg, and not tell me to come home. Like, that's a lot. So I guess I should tell you I appreciate that. I don't do that enough. So yeah, I think that was a lot of stories, and hopefully that people can find some application in that. But I think what we do well is probably that flexible piece and that non-traditional piece, and give each other a little grace in all those areas. So, but yeah, any other thoughts on that?
I was thinking about the default settings being a helpful piece. That if, I was mentioning the art projects, it's the default that the kids can swim. It's the default that we have in the house, the climbing wall, the Lego room, the workout room. All of that helps there to be a workable default. So making the right thing the easy thing, right? Not having a game console, making the right thing the easy setting.
Yeah.
I think takes away a lot of the decision making.
Yeah.
That could possibly derail us. So having a lot of those things by default available has helped things along.
That's why, like, we got cleaning help too, because it was just like, you know what, we just need to have some of these things in place. Get some cleaning help, get some nannies, those things to where we're not always looking for we're not reinventing. How do we get our house clean? How do we stay organized? So, yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, I think those are some good thoughts and ideas. I thought maybe we'd end with a couple more just fun questions. Someday I'm going to get this podcast so that there's like a rhyme and a reason to the order of things. But
you're going to ask me a question?
Yeah, I'm going to come back to our Halloween theme. It's still Halloween. So, did you ever dress up for Halloween as a kid?
No.
What? Never?
I don't remember that now.
No favorite Halloween costume ever as a kid?
Nope.
That is so tragic. But I guess, like I said, it got us to where we are today.
Non-traditional.
Non-traditional. I'm going to just be thankful for that.
I know I went trick-or-treating. I just don't have any memory of pulling together a costume.
Yeah.
I might have painted my face. I don't think we ever bought costumes.
Yeah, we probably just made something up.
I do remember the feeling every year was I'll be a baseball player for Halloween because I have that's my only uniform or costume. I was always playing baseball, so that to me every year I had that thought.
Yeah, because that was your go-to. Well, my favorite costume was one year I was Nefertiti, Queen Nefertiti from Egypt. I had like the most amazing headdress and costume. Okay. And then your birthday is coming up this month. So if you could have one thing for your birthday, what would it be?
Oh. I'm lame. I have no idea. I've not thought about it.
That's not true. How about like a new knife? Do you have any new knives on your list? Soren likes to collect knives.
I'm actually holding a knife in my hand right now, fidgeting with it under the table.
That is your default setting.
And all your brothers now collect good quality knives and show them to me when they come over.
Yeah, you're proud of that.
Okay. I don't have a new knife I'm on the look for.
Well, this was me trying to get some ideas for what to get you for your birthday, so
Sorry.
Now I'm in trouble. But all right, well, thanks for joining me today and talking all this out. I feel like this was good marriage counseling therapy for us. So thanks for joining us today, guys. Hopefully this gave you some good tips, good thoughts, at least good stories, maybe a little inspo for insight into how we operate, how we do this. It's definitely not the norm, but we're working through it and it's a journey and I feel like it's always going to be changing. So if you guys are doing something outside the norm yourself, if you have a big family, if you are trying to run a business, would love to hear some of how you do it or, just your thoughts. So leave a comment. Please subscribe. We'd love for you to rate and review. Now that we're finally on Apple Podcasts, that only took like 4 weeks. So thanks so much and we'll see you back here next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening today to With Kilee Nichols. Stay tuned next week for another episode. And if you can't wait until then, you can find me at onelittlemama.com, MOMMA, for beauty, our family, style tips, and more. And you can find my business at nicholandswade.com with the and spelled out. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.